Realistic hair physics. Real-time light simulation through the hair. So long, flowing, and lifelike. You think it's a hot chick, but it's actually a creepy mannequin. No mullets allowed. It's time to talk about hair.
Skip it up and that up.
So we know that EA is basically using the Frostbite engine for everything, even though it was meant really just to be for first-person shooters. Everyone and their mother at EA, every studio, minus one exception, that's Respawn Entertainment, is using the Frostbite engine to create their games. As we well know, it was used for BioWare's Anthem, Dragon Age, and Mass Effect, which BioWare is not very thrilled with. BioWare has said that the Frostbite engine is problematic for them because when they're trying to make these kinds of games, using an engine that was primarily meant for first-person shooters doesn't work out that well. The Frostbite engine has been used for their FIFA games and for Need for Speed games. Like I said, EA wants every one of their development companies to be using the Frostbite engine, but whatever it's good at and bad at aside, this hair technology that they have is pretty amazing, and if this is what we're going to see in next-gen games, whether it be on the PS5, next Xbox, or PC, it's pretty badass, and I hope it's going to happen. Now, it's called Frostbite Hair Rendering and Simulation. I may show a little bit of the footage here. The video they have is unlisted, so I'm hesitant. So, as you see, the way the volume of the hair, the way it bounces when the mannequin walks, and the way light reflects off of the hair, it looks real. It looks finally like realistic hair, something that has not really been achieved even at the tail end of the 8th generation. And if games are going to look like this, that's pretty amazing. The only thing that's kind of creepy is that they didn't give the woman a face. It's just a mannequin with realistic hair. Kind of freaked me out a little bit, not going to lie.
It's time to talk about hair.
Now, I hope this is a sign of the future of what games are going to look like, because I remember when Half-Life 2 came out in 2004, and how they had the characters with their facial expressions, I'm like, oh man. Now, of course, looking back on it now, it's very rudimentary and basic, the facial expressions characters had in Half-Life 2. I was like, man, this looks pretty good. This is promising. When these 7th gen consoles, the 360 and PS3 come out, I bet they're going to have really realistic looking characters where their facial animations are going to look real, and everything's going to be awesome. And it didn't happen. Like 7th gen, all the characters looked like mannequins. Yeah, there was obviously the graphics looked much better 7th gen as opposed to 6th generation console like the PS2 and the original Xbox, but like characters just didn't look real. The hair looked like it was plastic and painted on, and the faces just looked like mannequins talking. It just wasn't. I was disappointed because when I saw Half-Life 2, and that was even before we had the 7th gen consoles, I'm like, man, things are just going to get better from here, and it never did. So the reason I bring that up is, yeah, okay, we're seeing these realistic hair simulations, but even with the amazing specs we've heard about both the PS5 and next Xbox, will they be able to handle that? What was the GPU horsepower that was needed and CPU horsepower that was needed to make that simulation, that hair simulation, run on the Frostbite engine? So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, as long as it gets better than it is now, I'll still be happy, but I would love to see that in next-gen games. And I'm also hoping that DICE, Frostbite, and EA found a way to make it more efficient to make realistic hair, because like NVIDIA Hairworks sucks up GPU horsepower, man. So I'm hoping that what they're showing here won't be too taxing, and we could see it on next-gen consoles and on upcoming PC games. But we'll have to wait and see. But that was a pretty impressive demo, and I'm hoping that future games will look close to what we saw in this Frostbite hair rendering and simulation, because that would just be awesome. This is Rich at Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.